I wanted to ask you a question about my brain.
Okay.
And
Good.
I have a lot of uninteresting energies going through my body, and they're very strong. And when I sit and meditate, I have learned how to work with them.
Yeah.
So they are not in the way. You know, it gives me a lot of odd sensations and colors and all that, but
Right.
that calms down after a while. But the problem is that after I have been in some really deep meditations, or during when I am in groups that are meditating, or in that vein, that afterwards my brain is just, I'm gone,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
I can't. It's very, very hard for me to come back.
Yeah.
And actually, if I'm in a retreat for just 3 days, I can't start working right away. I mean, it takes me a couple of days to be able to really functioning, and I have to. I mean, I'm a dentist, you know, I need to have steady hands and be able to speak with
Could help.
people, you know. So I wonder if you could give me some tips when it comes to that, how to come back.
Do you find it uncomfortable, or is it more just the practical realities urge you to get it back together quickly?
Actually, when I just come out of it, it feels wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to walk around like that all the time. It's very pleasant. The only problem comes when I'm forced to. You know, when somebody asks me a question that I can discuss things that has to do with feelings and being and visions, but I can't count. I can't discuss, you know, the universe in the way of how it was formed, you know.
Got it. So you're looking down and you're going, those are teeth, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like, huh?
Well, actually, I probably don't really know the name of it.
Yeah. You're doing a morning exercise, this body exercise that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what you're describing is it's fairly common, and it's very real, and it's nothing to worry about, except for, as you say, the practical realities of life are such that sometimes you have to get back into your gross body mind a little faster than your subtle body mind can, and that can lead to problems. But it's, by and large, it sounds like it's going fine, it's going very healthy, and there is both of those components, like we were talking about earlier. When you get in a higher state of consciousness or stage, there is a subtler energy that goes with it, and people can start to feel those energies. And Kundalini is one of them, but it can go, all sorts of things can happen. And that's fun, that's actually part of, it's almost kind of a purifying process as it moves through the body and tends to open channels and works with it. So you can feel it, you can actually, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And part of what you want to do is, in your meditation, is of course continue to relax with those energies and let them do what they're doing. Because they pretty much know exactly what they're doing. What we're trying to do with this morning exercise that we're giving you is, it's actually geared specifically to all three bodies, so causal body, subtle body, and gross body, because those go with states of consciousness. It'll go all the way from your sort of egoic state into a soul state, into spirit state, if you want. And that's gross, subtle, and causal. So we're developing a series of simple exercises, physical exercises you can go through to help hook these things and bring them back into alignment. So one of the best practices to work with it generally has been developed by the Taoists, and it refers to the microcosmic orbit. And it's just a breathing technique where you actually breathe down the front line, release, and breathe up the back, and do that. And there are lots of these types of exercises, and if you want to stay in touch with us, we'll be glad to talk with you further about this. And I'm sure you're aware of many of them. But generally, people that work with energies find this Taoist exercise of bringing energy down and then up the back, microcosmic orbit, to be a very, very central practice. And it's primarily taking causal into subtle into gross, and then gross to subtle to causal. Causal into subtle into gross, gross to subtle to causal, down the front and up the back. You can actually start to feel that. And as you do that as an intention, that's the integrated movement. So, and that's what helps, because normally there's maybe some really far out causal energy up there, and then some subtle stuff kind of going on down here, and then your gross body is supposed to drive the car home. And it's like, and so when you intentionally breathe light down into life, and you intentionally breathe causal down, then that's the integrated movement. And so that's what we've developed. The exercise you're starting to do each morning, it takes all of this into account. And as you just sort of do that on a daily basis, it will help with some of the stuff you're having happen. But it'll also in the future create these grooves of integrated intentionality that will help lessen the unpleasant aspects of that, should it happen. But it's it's great in one sense. You do have that free energy moving like that. So it's actually very positive.